Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. In this video, we will discuss about Azure Biceps conditional loops, for each loop and for loop. How we use the different looping conditions, how do we apply loops to create multiple resources of the same instance type based on the input collections which we receive from the parameters or variables. We'll look at how there are different collection or object you may want to iterate in your Biceps program. Hi, my name is Rakesh Suryavanshi and you're watching Be a Learner. Let's begin our discussion from the Visual Studio Code with the help of demonstration. Okay, just to start with it, we have this variable storage accounts collection. At the moment in this collection, we have two storage account properties defined, which is very clear that we would like to create these two storage account from this collection with the help of our Biceps code. It might possible your collection may contain more than two, so it is dynamic based on the input which you are passing. Now, we would like to perform the iteration on this object or the array type, and for that we would like to use the loops. So how do we use the loop? Let's look at that now. First of all, I will define the resource which I would like to create, which is of type storage account. So I'll create a storage account. If I press tab, then this is what the information I'm getting it. I don't want this information as of now because this is just help me to create only single storage account. So I'll comment this out for a moment, and then after the equal sign, if I press spacebar, then this is what the help I'm getting. So you can see that I'm getting a help that either you create a single resource with this curly braces option, or if you would like to perform in for operation on a collection, then you can use this option to use a for condition on your resource type. So I'm going to use this option, and then later on we'll discuss about these two options, which is of again a for type, which is a for with a filtered condition and for with index condition, index type. I'll use this option, and as you can see that it has given me an option for with the opening square bracket, closing square bracket, and within that opening and closing square bracket we have a for loop syntax. So this is the syntax of any for loop. So you have the keyword for starting with it, then the instance of which you may want to specify, you can call it anything. Let's call it st for example, and then on which collection you want to apply this for each loop, that is what the list you need to specify here. So my list is this variable. I'll use this particular variable, and now later on you need to specify all those properties for such as name. So I may want to use the name from, let's say name.name, st.name. This is what name will be for me. Next I would have a location property, so I know that the location is coming from here. I will have a kind as well, SKU. So I'll just copy this SKU from this particular section because the SKU is something which is not coming from the collection. So considering we are going to create a SKU from the premium location as well, I'll just remove this. Now my story account is ready. So what we are doing, we are applying a for loop on this collection, and this is the index key or the item iteration key name which we are using, and from that key each item st would have one of these, and then from one of these I can access either of these properties, something like that. Okay, now if I compile this to Azure Biceps build command, then that should generate the ARM template for me, which we can review it for this particular story account. Let's do that. So let's open this .json file which we have created with the build command, and as you can see, the ARM template which is generated from the for loop is converted into a copy command. So we have a copy command or copy function available in the ARM template, and that's where it is being used. So we can see that the copy is used for the length of the storage account. This is the length function which is being used. So count property is set to the length of the collection, which is the collection defined here in this variable. And then later on, with the help of this copy command, we are using the properties like copy index, which is nothing, just the index of the, it will return the index of the each item, which is going to be start from 0. And then once you have the index with the item, you can trade the property of the individual collection item. Okay, this is option number 1 to basically use it in your biceps command. Next, have a look at the resource type, the same resource type, for example, storage account, and I'll repeat the same exercise. This time we are going to use the index based condition. So what is the difference between this for loop and this for loop? So here we directly have the item as in collection item as an instance which we are defining, and here we are basically defining the key and the value both. So it's basically a key value pair from each collection item. So you would get a key which is the index of the item, and then the value which is the value of the entire item. So if this is my collection, so I would have a key as in 0, the key is or the index as in 0, and then index in 1 2 3, so starting from 0, and then the value I would have entire this particular block of my this collection as a value, this block of collection as in value. So that's the small difference we have. So I can simply use this like this. Okay, I'm getting this error because I haven't defined this as an storage, and I can define this as an 1 just to avoid the naming confusion with this instance name. Here I can use the index property. Let's say I may want to use this as an interpolation. So what I can do here, simply I can use as an index, and then we can use it like this. So it will generate the storage account name as a web storage dash the index, which is this particular index. So web storage dash 0, then log storage dash 1. So that's how it will generate the indexes. Okay, if I compile it again, it will create another storage account. We'll compile it later on. Now let's look at the third option, which is the storage, the for loop with the filtered condition. So in this case, again, we will try to create a storage account, and this time I'll be using the for with filter option. Let's see if we have the, yeah, this is the one. And again, this time we are going to use the st as condition. I'll call it as storage 3, and you can see the difference here is between this and this is just you can apply a condition, rest of the things are same. So you can use a condition like, let's say I have a location parameter added here, and I'm saying that this is my list of allowed location east US and UK South, for example. Okay, so this is what the list of allowed location I'm allowing the code to run. Now if a location is from the given parameter location, it will create a storage account. But if the location is not from the given given parameter, which is of, let's say, location of this, in this case you can see that it will have a location type, it will find the location type for the very first storage account, which is to US, but for the second storage account, which is West US, it won't find the location, hence it will not create a storage account. So I'll copy as is, it will work fine. Okay, now if I compile this biceps command again, that should return the result same. It's just the only difference, it should have a condition. So let me open the biceps command which we have run it. You can see that between this and that, both of them are identical, and in the third one we have a only change with the condition which says that if a parameter location matches, then you can it's going to create a resource, otherwise it will ignore this block of code. So the loop will run only one time. Here in this case it will run for 2 times. Now let's go ahead and check use the key value pair type of for each loop. So like in Terraform, if you are aware about the Terraform, in the Terraform when you run the for each loop, you get the for each key and value, and then you can use the key and value. So similarly here with the biceps, you can use the for each loop if you have the object type of data. So far we have seen that we have the data which is of type of array of object basically. But what if you have a object data which you want to run the for loop? So how do you use the for each loop, or the for loop which is of which is of type for each loop in the Terraform? So how do you perform that kind of operation on an object type of data? So here in this example, I have a variable of application insight, and application insight has a two collection element, one application insight 1 and 2, both of them I'm trying to create it here in the West Europe region. Let's make another application insight with this collection so that we will cover both the option. I'll say application insight 3, and this time we'll say East US. And now let's see how do we use the for each loop. So this time I'll say application insight type of resource. I'll select this. For now I will comment this out, and I'll just press for loop or for index loop. For example, we know that the filter and for with index, both of them are same. This time we are going to apply on this collection, but we know that this is not an array of collections, so this is an object. So you need to convert this object into array, and to convert this object into array you can use item function. So we have item function available in biceps which we can use it. So item function basically will convert this into a array of object, and then once you have the array type you can use this collection. And now I can use the name property like key as a name, because we know that this is going to be the key, this and this, and this is going to be the value. So we know that this is basically key, and later on, let's say if you would like to use the location, this is going to be item dot value dot location. That's going to be my location type. I can use the kind as in web. I don't want to read it from there, so I'll simply copy these values as is. Okay, let's remove this, and then once you run the bicep build command, that will generate the application insight component for these particular resource type, for these many application insight component which you are providing it in the object format. Again, you can apply the condition as well, component filter, let's say filter type, and here you can apply a condition before we go and run. So I can use a if condition, if block here, same if condition. Actually, let's use this same if condition, item dot values, same if condition. What we are saying is run the for loop on this condition and then apply if condition here on the value. If the location matches, create the record. If doesn't, don't create any record here. So now if I build the command, check the result which is of ARM template, I should be able to see the different resource type. Let's look at the ARM template now. We have this storage account with the simplest form of for loop. Next we have the for loop with the index type. Later on we have a for loop with the condition applied on it. Next we have the application insight resource with the for loop on the object type. So we are using item function here. And later on we have a for loop with condition and for loop is applied on the object type with the item function. But I hope by now you get an idea about the for loop and the conditional loop and how do we use the for loop and conditional loop with your biceps program, and you'll be using it in your. If you like the video, please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Thanks for watching it. See you in the next video.